as an owner of a company, I care about the utilization of the equipment. I care about who's operating it. Is it being maintained? Do I have the right team supporting those crews? And, with data, we can start to provide those insights.
Sean, I'm excited to be able to chat with you today. To begin, share what is Assignar in 5 seconds, very brief.
We're an operations platform for construction contractors.
I love it. Straight to the point. This concept of why you developed it, talk to me about the problem and how did you come to realize the problem itself that existed?
Yeah, well, I experienced the problem in my own construction business back in Australia. So I'm a tech guy that started a construction business. I had an exit in the mid 2000s. I won't go into the long detail of my background, unless of course you want to. But I ended up starting a construction company and with a friend of mine, and we just found that there wasn't a lot of software that was born in the cloud, had mobility first, and would really solve like operational business problems. So after searching the market, not being able to find a modern platform, we built one.
It's one of the best stories is when you yourself feel the pain and you're like, all right, I need to solve this. So it's interesting though. Haven't heard much folks who start in construction and then go to tech. So
Yeah.
That's a fun
I get
transition.
told that all the time, actually. Most people go from construction to tech, not tech to construction.
It's been 6 years ago. So you said mid 2014 that you started this. How have you seen the overall use of technology then advance? You said in the last 3 years is the big shift.
Oh, yeah. It's really interesting because when we first started out, we had to describe what the cloud was to a lot of our customers. And honestly, because they had a server in the office, they had QuickBooks, or they had like their accounting system on it, and that was probably it. QuickBooks and Xero and some of these other sort of, small to medium size accounting systems educated a lot of our customers for us, as did smartphones. If you look on a job site, you'll see workers that have the same smartphones as everyone else. And they were very, very fast to adopt that. So we saw a bit of a shift happen there. So we have less conversations about what the cloud is now. But what's really interesting about like construction specifically is because they've been such laggards in adopting technology, they're almost skipping generations of tech. Like they're literally jumping from a spreadsheet system or a manual system that they started using in the 90s. Now they're jumping straight into the cloud. And so that's really nice. When I get asked like, who do we compete with? 9 out of 10 times, it's literally Microsoft Excel. It's a whiteboard. It's a manual process. Yeah. So, I mean, there's some good and some bad in that. It's great that they're able to like skip an entire generation of, tech, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So let's walk through some use cases and examples of how you've helped some of your clients.
Yeah. So a lot of contractors, particularly where they've got a lot of heavy equipment, like you can see in the background there, that sits on their balance sheet, and they have operators for the equipment. They have crews that support the operation of the machinery. And they're generally working on a lot of projects all at the same time. And generally they can be geographically spread out over a few miles, or it could be, different states, that type of thing. So we really help them get visibility into scheduling, planning, managing those projects, managing those crews, managing the equipment, helping them manage safety, doing it all remote now. It's relevant in the COVID world. Quite often, like the office was always disconnected from the field, but they could drive out to the project site. Now with COVID, they can't even do that a lot of the time. So we really kind of enable the field as well as provide the office the connectivity that they need to get to the projects.
Data definitely changes the game then, because then you can infer a lot of ideas and thoughts for them to realize like, wow, that's great, a suggestion of what they can act on. But you're both helping them give suggestions or how to view the data, but also capture the data. Tell me how are you capturing all that data for them?
Yeah, so there's mobile apps. So we have iPads and tablets, phones, that type of thing, and we kind of answer. Well, we don't ask them questions that we already know the answers to. So, like a really simple example is if I'm working on the I-25 upgrade here in Denver, Colorado. I shouldn't need to ask the workers, like, what project are they on? Because I know that. I've got a geofence. I've done some scheduling and planning. I also know that you're operating unit number 6. It's a 25-ton excavator, and I know who the crew is. So we make it like really seamless, frictionless, like effortless, I guess, from a data collection. And when you do that, you get really good quality data that maybe you do need the answers from, because I'm getting, I'm not asking 30 questions. I'm only asking 5 questions that I don't know the answers to. So that's been a huge game changer for our customers. Like, they really get, really powerful, meaningful data and insights into their business. But we also help them with other sort of, I would say, like, less project related flows. If you look at the machines in the background there, that's probably $1 million worth of equipment in those 2 machines, all set up. So as an owner of a company, I care about the utilization of the equipment. I care about who's operating it. Is it being maintained? Do I have the right team supporting those crews? And, with data, we can start to provide those insights. That big excavator breaks down a hell of a lot, so you should probably think about, replacing it, for example. And so they're the sort of insights that they can get. In the old days, you would go by a manual process, a gut feel, or maybe a conversation with someone in the shop about whether that unit should be retired or not. And so now contractors are understanding that, like, let's use data to actually make those decisions.
Data definitely changes the game. It's more gut feel, but you can make informed decisions, good decisions.
Yeah. And I think that, like, back to my earlier point around contractors skipping generations of technology, if, there are oldest legacy systems that, have been around since the 80s or the 90s, and they just can't surface. They're very rigid workflows. They don't let you capture that level of data, let alone like interpret or surface insights about it. So I definitely think there's a shift that's happening, with contractors, and they're saying great things about, the visibility they now have and forward look into the future, because of that data.
What's your business model? Is a monthly SaaS, yearly SaaS? So how does it work? Number of seats?
Yeah. So it's SaaS. We license it based on the number of workers that they have. Generally, they've got 50 to 500 employees. So we're sort of selling into, I guess, sort of the small to mid-market sort of band. Generally, they're annual contracts. Some of them pay us, monthly, quarterly, annually. We've got a few multi-year deals as well, but generally it's a 12-month contract.
And looking forward, where do you see the company in the near term, the next year or so? Where's your head at? And also long term, next 5 years?
Yeah. So in the short term, I mean, I'm Australian, but I live in Denver, Colorado. So we started out down there. We have customers in Australia and New Zealand. We launched into the US a couple of years ago. We have customers here and in Canada as well. I think, if I was to get to, October, November, end of 21, we're also in the UK. We've spun up a little business over there. And I think we're sort of, continuing to expand our reach across North America as well. We've got customers and opportunities in other markets, but we're sort of being really focused on just executing really well and sort of replicating what we did in launching in the US, which was start small, start to build up a little bit of a brand, get some great customer stories, really solve the problem set for them, and then, kind of look elsewhere. 5 years from now, my goal was to sort of bring industry into the 21st century, I guess, when it comes to, adopting technology. I think, our mission is to help them keep building. You can see that in the background as well, because that's what contractors are really good at. Technology is not the center of the universe for them. They make money by winning more projects and executing on them really, really well. So, if we can continue to make it easy to use, frictionless, effortless, they'll keep building, they'll grow their business, and they'll be, so from a product perspective, that's our focus. And I think that'll help us ultimately, to answer your question, become the standard. That's our goal for our profile of industry, the contractors we sell to. I want us to become the standard, for industry.
Where can people go to learn more, and what's a good first step for them that they could take?
Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of content on our site. There's a couple of short demos that they can go and take a look. But generally, I actually would recommend that they go read some reviews from contractors. Like, don't hear it from us, hear it from the voice of the customer. I'm really, really proud of what we do, like with the customer success team and how we engage. We become a part of their business. Most of those reviews don't talk about how great our product is. They talk about the experience that they have, and ultimately how we're a part of their business and help move the needle for them. Start there. Go watch a product demo and have a look and see if there's any pain points that we can help solve for, and reach out. We'd love to show you the platform and see if we can help.
Have you seen a company using AI, machine learning, or other technology to transform the way we live, work, and do business? Go to uptechreport.com and let us know.